Hello, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I titled this message, They Want You Just for the Holidays. They want you just for the holidays. We're talking about the selfish, self-absorbed, self-centered, controlling narcissist. Different people fit these categories. And these people, the common denominator is selfishness. The Lord doesn't take too kindly to the selfish, the type of individual who wants things his or her way when they want them. It's all about them. So the holidays come along, and now we have individuals who they don't care to see you any other time of the year. But this holiday, you will be around. Some of them are very particular about what holiday they want you to show up. My birthday, you better be there. Christmas, you better be there. Thanksgiving, New Year's, Mother's Day, Father's Day. And even if you don't show up, you better call me. Demanding, right? Turns you off. You swallow what little pride you have, and you go along with the programming. Some of you all are motivated to go along with the programming because you anticipate that there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You don't particularly like that self-absorbed, self-centered, controlling, narcissistic type of individual, but you will tolerate him or her and even bring your children and or grandchildren around this person because, once again, your motivation is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. This comes in the form of an inheritance or will, or a promised asset, or material wealth of some sort. Today, I'm making it plain for some of you all because, you see, God knows what you're up to. Whether you are the one who is saying, they better come around for the holidays or else, or you are that one that has your own selfish motives. Sometimes people are going around talking about love, right? I love my family. I love the holidays. I love when the snow falls down. I love to decorate the halls. I love Christmas music. They just throw love around. When the reality is that it's not about love. It's about what it does for me or what these people put in my spirit. They flatter me, or what they put in my hands. Oh, the gifts. You see, there's a difference between love, come on, and selfishness. A huge difference. But sometimes selfishness will use love to guise itself. Ego will use so-called love to keep you from seeing the truth for what it is. Why is it that during the holidays, some family members can't just enjoy their intermediate family members or just go off and have a vacation with a select few rather than a whole crew? Why is it that some individuals can't simply just skip decorating the halls and the Christmas trees and all the paganism? Come on. And just be their spiritual selves, worshiping the Father. I mean, you do claim that you love the Lord and that these are times to thank the Lord. So what is this attitude and stress that some people put upon others? And then when you uncover it, it's all about them, isn't it? It's all about the pastor and the pastor's wife and how they, did so much and we love them so. And meanwhile, there is the manipulation and the power and control, and somebody is saying, this is what you should do. And so God gets pushed away and folks get put on pedestals. Let me give you another example. There are those who they have their favorites in the family, but their favorites aren't your favorites, and they'll put pressure on you and say, you should call, you should come around, you should do for, because, and then they'll throw a title. I told some of you all time and time again, God, He is not that one that's the respecter of titles. He doesn't bow down to man and woman. If man and woman would just humble themselves, confess sin and repent, turn away from their wickedness, then God, He can bless them with the desires of their hearts. But so many people are not going to get the desires of their hearts spiritually, mentally, physically, and those in marriage sexually, because there's this selfishness, there's this entitlement. You owe me. What? Because I did. That's not love. That's not love. I remember some individuals, they were okay with me as long as there was the phone calls and the letters and the visits. But there came a point where mentally I was exhausted while they talked about how exhausted they were. And I was physically exhausted. And I was tired of having to deal with trying to be everything to everyone. Let me go over here because I know this person. They're going to get upset if I don't. Then when I grew up and I woke up, come on, I said, I'm not going to be jumping from home to home, trying to put a smile on everybody's faces. And then the smile goes away once you start speaking truth anyway. And after a while, they want you to go home because they don't want to listen to you and your God. Come on, because the Spirit tends to take over us believers when we do show up. And then they're sorry that they invited us. And they're sorry that they picked up the phone. And they're sorry about a lot of things. Because I'm telling you, as a believer, you have a light. And when you show up on the phone, or when you show up in person, or if your gifts show up, or your letters show up, there's a light that shines on an individual. There's a feeling that comes over them. And when they're in the right, it's a feeling of gratitude, thankfulness. Tears come down their eyes. But when they're not right, come on, they're saying, well, what else is she going to do? Uh-oh. I'm telling you, some of you all, this is where the source of your stress comes year after year after year, is family that are self-absorbed, self-centered, selfish, controlling, narcissistic. But you want to blame the long lines at the store, and you want to talk about what this other person over there said or did. You want to do everything to distract yourself from the truth that you should have cut some folk off a long time ago and got centered with the one true God. Then as your strength in the one true God increases, then you can be able to take on these self-absorbed, selfish, self-centered, controlling, narcissistic individuals. Let me give you another example. You got the spouse who believes in celebrating all the holidays. And as we very well know, it costs to buy the turkey and all of what goes along with the turkey. And it costs to decorate one's home inside and outside. And it costs to make sure that envelopes are filled with money around a holiday, or there's the gifts that people ask you to buy. I mean, these things cost. And let's just say you're not the one that's into all of that. But yet you feel a pressure as it gets closer and closer to the dates. And then you go ahead and you break down and you say, okay, or what have you. But then when the bills start coming in, now you have an attitude. Now you're talking about Why did you spend that money and you shouldn't have? And I told you that these holidays was nothing more than blah, 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 blah. And then you, let's say, who are that one that likes to spend the money and like to show off, right? Because narcissists, sometimes some folks is guilty of being narcissists themselves while they're accusing other people because, see, they feed off of the energy that the holidays bring. And once again, some folks, and you may be included, those who are self-absorbed and self-centered but don't want to admit it, you only want to see those people just for the holidays. Or those of you all who know this about others, or you're just catching on, they only want to see you just for the holidays. So money was spent and behind the scenes, there's some discord. And then you're hearing that some folks didn't really like the gifts, or they were talking about your cheap or tacky looking decorations and the food wasn't that good. And now you're stuck sitting there upset, frustrated, because now these ungrateful folks, and after all the work I did, they got a lot of nerve. I got to go there just for the holidays. This is going to uncover a lot. Some of the individuals that were, as I described, self-absorbed, self-centered, etc., these individuals, they wanted to see you only around the holidays. The truth be told, they didn't want to see you any other time of the year. And when you did happen to see them or contact them other times of the year, you just didn't feel like they really wanted you around. Some of you all know what I'm talking about. I'm open to you coming to my house because it's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, it's New Year's, or what have you. And that's typically what tradition says. Okay. But any other time, you're cramping my style. I don't have the ear to want to listen to you. I don't have the patience to want to deal with your children. Uh-oh. Am I speaking somebody's truth? And the frustration tends to creep up in their voices and the way they act. And you say, but you put on a good show, though. Maybe you don't say this to them, but you're thinking it. She put on a good show, or he put on a good act, though, during the holidays. What's up with that? Because the person is not that type of individual who genuinely loves and cares for and serves people. See, that's Jesus. And that is also Jesus's followers who are 100% sold out. But a lot of folk who got the aches, the pains, the attitudes, can't seem to get some things straight financially, physically, spiritually. They don't have the mental capacity nor the energy to deal with you year round. And then throw kids and pets into the picture. They really don't want to be bothered. And I notice some of you all, you take offense to that because, well, she was so welcoming when we went over. You about to get disappointed for some of you all because I already told you they're self-absorbed, self-centered, selfish. Come on. Controlling, narcissistic type of individuals who it's about feeding off of you during opportune times. You're giving them supply when they are up to it. Come on. Some of them even said, okay, I guess I'm up to having company. Come on. They even told some of you all, I want you around just for, and then they told you the times when you could show up. But then but I love my family and I really want to, do so much for them and I can never get tired of them. Well, they can get tired of you and the kids and the pets. Okay. Now, some folks, they're not narcissistic, selfish, self-absorbed, or self-centered, or controlling just because they don't want to be bothered. Come on, because I could put my hands up. There are certain times of the month where I don't want to be bothered, and it doesn't have anything to do with that. So we got to make sure that we're not putting everybody in a box. But there are those individuals who have time and time again showed you that they're about themselves, will give credit to themselves, won't even wait for you to give them, a compliment or praise them. And the Bible says that we're supposed to let others do that, not us tooting our own horns. These are individuals that it's all about me. And what have you done for me lately? And you only do for me during a certain time when I feel like receiving your gifts, the controlling one. But then you got those other ones who, hey, I'll take what you can give me any time of the year. And I don't care if you show up as long as you're willing to do some things for me. Bring the kids, bring the pets, but make sure that you are going to do some things for me. And some of them, they're not going to ask, they're going to demand. And other ones who got some mental issues, some very sick mental issues, they're just going to take what they want. Okay. And the holidays is a prime time for doing a lot of dirty deeds with the children of darkness, because they know that for some of you who are gullible, you're going to let your guard down. You're going to show up because somebody told you you better show up. You're going to do because, once again, you're motivated by that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And some of you all want to get in good with certain people, so you're willing to put anybody on the chopping block to get some things. Uh-oh. And this happens just for the holidays with some folk. She only opens up her door during the holidays. Let's get over there. What? Why can't we go over here and then maybe another day? You don't know my mother. You don't know my father, my sister, my brother, my cousin. You don't even know, the boss, the manager, the owner, the investor. I mean, these are the times when we got to go over. So you go head on and you buy this, that, and the other, and make sure that we're looking good, because our family has to look good. And don't you run your mouth. You make sure that the kids are well behaved. And I mean, come on. And some folks behind the scenes, they're running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Just for the holidays. So exhausted, so burnt out, so tired. But I'm giving this information to some of you all as the Lord has put upon my spirit, because He doesn't want you to go there this year. Come on. He doesn't want you to go there getting yourself all worked up behind some selfish, self-absorbed, self-centered, controlling, narcissistic individuals. He doesn't want you to do that. Instead, what He wants you to do is guard your heart. Because they're only going to deal with you but for so long. They're only going to have that red carpet out for so long. They're only going to be nice for so long. And if you don't bring enough narcissistic supply for them, then they're going to talk about you, and probably will still talk negatively about you after the holidays. After all we did. Yes, that's how they roll. Well, I don't need to be around people like that. Well, we're not supposed to be fellowshipping, breaking bread with children of darkness anyway. We're supposed to teach them, preach to them. And if they don't like it, tough. And we're also to distance ourselves. Low contact, no contact. That has been the strategy for so many individuals who have gotten free, moved on with their lives. Time and time again, I get the messages sent to me, whether through comments or to my email. I'm free. I'm not dealing with this. I've cut this person off. I've got a divorce. I've moved on. I relocated. I went and got some help. I'm no longer sick like I used to be dealing with these people or dealing with an individual. Real stories, real testimonies. God is freeing people out of this matrix of foolishness. And once again, a lot of this rises up during holiday seasons while people wear smiles and talk about how much they so-called love their family and their friends. But I can't tell. And many of these people who do their dirt or talk behind our backs or talk at us about any number of things, knowing full well that God got us, those are going to reap immensely, because we went through fires to get to a place of freedom. And we wanted them to come along and follow Jesus and be about Jesus during the holiday seasons rather than themselves. And instead, they wanted to put pressure on us to move away from God and Jesus and Holy Spirit and just sit down and entertain them. Sit down and give to them. Sit down and make them feel good. And God is like, that is not what I'm calling you to do. What I'm calling you to do is to speak the truth and to come up out of the oppressive mindset that so many of you all have because you listen to wicked people, controlling people, self-absorbed, self-centered, narcissistic, filled with sin. Come on out. There's a place in holy heaven for you when you turn away from wickedness. And then throw in the alcohol during a time that's supposed to be once again about Thanksgiving and all of this other business. And now you got some folks that's doing some things that they shouldn't, that they regret for the rest of their lives. Throw in drugs. Oh my goodness. And some folks end up being addicted because it's their first time or they haven't touched it in a long time. But since it's the holidays, and once again, those selfish individuals who sit back and they supply the alcohol and the drugs, or some of them who don't, but they want to mooch or capitalize off of during the holidays. God sees them, and in time, they reap what they have sown. Don't be caught in that. Warning, don't be caught up with some folk. Warning, losing your marriage, losing children, losing your money, losing opportunities, and all of that behind some foolish people is not worth it. Thank you as always for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen. You've been listening to YouTube NM Enterprise 7. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment. Blessings to you.